My name is Regina. I am 38 years old. My life is very hard. For 6 months I have been a widow. My husband Patrick died and left me alone. The bank is putting a lot of pressure on me. Every day they send letters. Every day they call my phone. They want my house. They want to take away the only living memory I have of the man I loved. My mother tells me the same thing every day. Regina, move on. Get over it. You are young. But life is not that simple. I cannot just move on. I am carrying my dead husband's child inside me. A small life is growing. I am 3 months pregnant. I have to protect this baby. This child is my chance to be happy. After a month of searching and crying, I finally got a job as a teacher. It is very difficult to get hired when you are pregnant, but I hid my stomach. I needed the paycheck, but the money was never enough. My health was going down. I was always stressed. One evening, I got home very late from school. I was exhausted. I went to the kitchen and cooked eggs. I ate them in silence, looking at Patrick's empty chair. I went to bed and fell asleep quickly. At 3 a.m., I woke up. My throat was dry. I was very thirsty. I stood up to get a glass of water, but suddenly the doorbell rang. My heart stopped. I have no husband, no family, no one. No one comes to a widow's house at 3 a.m. I was terrified. Was it a thief? Was it the bank coming to kick me out in the middle of the night? I went to the window and moved the curtain a tiny bit. A man was standing there. He was very tall. He wore a long coat. He was looking directly at my window. I walked to the front door. I opened the door just a little. The man looked up at me. I froze. I screamed so loudly that my throat hurt. It was my husband, Patrick. The same eyes, the same face, the same tall body. Patrick, I gasped. The man moved fast. He looked worried. He covered my mouth with his hand and pushed me inside the house. He locked the door behind us. I screamed again. Patrick, is it you? Did you come back for the baby? The man smiled. It was a beautiful smile, but it was not Patrick's smile. The man said, "Oh, my little poor Regina, how do you still dream about your dead husband? It is a shame that my brother never mentioned me to you." I said, "Brother?" The man said, "I am Simon. I am Patrick's twin brother, and I am here because my brother owed a lot of money to a lot of people." I felt confused. Why did Patrick never tell me that he had a twin brother? Why did he hide this from me? This was strange. Simon looked exactly like my husband, but his energy was different. Patrick was quiet. Simon was like a fire. Simon looked at my small kitchen, the bank, the creditors. He said, "I am here to settle the debt, Regina. I will pay them all. You can keep the house for the baby." I said, "Why? Why help me now?" Simon stepped closer. My body wanted to lean into him because he looked like my husband, but my brain said danger. Simon looked at me from head to toe. He said, "Well, maybe I want to take away your loneliness." He walked past me. Simon didn't ask where to sleep. He walked straight into the bedroom next to mine. He stopped at the door and looked back. He said, "You can join me if you want." I stood in the hallway holding my stomach. I was helpless. I hated him. but I needed the money. If I kicked him out, the bank would take my house tomorrow. I had no other choice but to let him stay. That night, I locked my bedroom door and cried myself to sleep. The next few weeks were a challenge. Every morning was a battle. I would wake up early for work, but Simon was always in the washroom. He would stay there for hours, shaving and singing. I would shout, "Simon, I am a teacher. I have to go." He would open the door. He looked so much like Patrick that my eyes filled with tears. Simon would laugh. He said, "Don't be angry, wifey. It's bad for the baby." One morning, I was making tea. I felt very sick. Suddenly, Simon came from behind and hugged me. He put his hands on my stomach for 5 seconds. I closed my eyes. I leaned my head against his chest. I really thought it was Patrick. I felt the love I had missed for 6 months. Then I remembered he was not my husband. I pushed him away. I said, "Don't ever touch me again. You are a stranger." Simon didn't look sorry. He just ate a piece of my toast. He said, "You have to keep up the act, Regina. If the neighbors see us, they must think I am your husband. Or do you want them to think you have a new man already?" I felt angry. I was trapped in my own house. One night the stress became too much. I came home with a high fever. My body was boiling. I fell on the sofa crying. My head felt like it was exploding. Simon didn't make a joke this time. He was serious. He picked me up in his arms. He carried me to my bedroom and laid me down gently. Simon said, "I have got you." He went to the kitchen and brought a bowl of ice water for me. He sat by my bed. He wiped my forehead again and again. Every time I woke up shivering, Simon was there. He held my hand until the fever went down. In that moment, I saw a different man. I said, "Simon, why are you doing this?" He looked at me for a long time. He said, "Because Patrick was a fool, Regina. He had a queen and he treated her like a servant. I want to show you what a real man does." In that moment, I felt a dangerous attraction. I was falling for the shadow of my husband. By the end of the month, I was happy. The bank stopped calling. The debt was paid. Simon made me breakfast every morning. I began to think maybe we could be a family. Maybe my baby could have a father who looked like Patrick, but acted like Simon. But the truth is a cold thing. One evening, I came home early. I heard Simon talking on the phone in the living room. He didn't see me. Simon was laughing. He said into the phone, "Yes, she believes everything. She thinks I paid the bank. She doesn't know I just bought the debt from them. Now I own the house. When the baby is born, I will sell the house and leave. She has nowhere to go." My heart broke. Simon didn't come to save me. He came to take everything from me. He didn't care about me or the baby. He wanted the house. He wanted to win against his dead brother. I didn't say a word. I walked back out the door. I stood in the rain holding my stomach. I realized that the man in my house was not a miracle. He was just a more beautiful monster than Patrick. If you liked this story, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.